Hi, my name is Maisha Morales. I'm a Morales also. I work in the Lower East Side for an organization called Goals, and we organize public housing residents. I specifically work with the senior citizen population, and recently there's been a string of violence, and even seniors being mugged and robbed and attacked. And one of the issues they bring up is that the youth don't respect anymore. They're scared to come outside, and they want me to help them to put a stop to it. My concern, while I think it's important, is it also gives the NYPD, who is very abusive with stop and frisk, right, the reason to, harass our residents, our youth even more. When you were doing this film, I guess as a tool, I was thinking about maybe somehow working with the arts and seniors and youth. I would love to screen your film in the Lower East Side. But what did you notice, what was your, I guess my question is, did you work with the police or what was, when you used it, you didn't use this as a tool, like as a teaching tool, did you get resistance from the police, or do you know any experience of what the youth have to say? I don't know how the Caserios are over there as far as police. So.
I'm sure that they might not be that different from the projects
Okay.
here. And I don't know, because I don't know the projects here, but that's what friends say, right? When I was growing up in Llorens Torres, and I was so, drugs were so accessible in my life. As a kid, I know what it's like to find my dad's packs of cocaine hidden in the drawers. I know what it's like to find his guns under the mattress or on the closet. And this is how the community was growing up. My peers, us kids, we really didn't have a lot of options. The only option was sports, because the government thinks that if you want to keep the kids away from the street, just give them a couple of balls and problem solved. But what about us, the people that were not good at sports, So I always thought that the arts was exactly what our community needed in order to succeed, in order to just stay away from, of course, sports that's fantastic, and thank God sports exist. But I know that I wasn't gonna be a very good sports leader. And if I identified my talent in the arts, well, that's exactly how I needed to pursue it. Now, my community was not used to the arts. I mean, you tell me, which community is used to the arts? Poor communities. Well, not even in El Barrio. I mean, let's face it, if we talk about El Barrio, Caserios, projects, ghettos, what's the percentage of people that regularly go to the arts, go to a theater? It's very low. We, the poor people, were missing out on a lot. So when I discovered the arts, I tried to really implement the arts in our community, because I was convinced that the arts was what we needed, especially the folks doing bad things, because art has something very, very special that sports don't have or any other thing. And it's that through the arts make you vulnerable. And when you're so focused and fighting, or there's, that environment is among us, but when there's arts, you're vulnerable and you're open to love and change. So that was my magic trick, using the arts in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to say something. We do recognize that El Barrio, here, the organization here in the States, in New York City, does that type of work. And that is one of the things that we would like to pursue, to have alliances with El Barrio so we could reach out other people. So when he said barrio, he's talking about that, like, communities in Puerto Rico, not barrio organization here in New York City, because we do know all the work you're doing here, and it's great work.
Hi, my name is Rosa Rosario, and I work here at John Jay. And esta movie estaba brutal, como ustedes dicen allá.
Yeah.
Brutal! Amazing, I loved it. I have two questions, kind of one for the actors and then one for the people that are gonna tell us what we need to do to help you do your job to get this out here, because I think we all need to know how we could help. And for the actors, like okay, do you live in the Caserios, first of all of you? And if so, like, I mean, what drove you to the arts and what drove you? Tell us a little bit. Like, we know why he's done it. I would like to know why you guys are doing it. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for being here tonight with us. I'm so thrilled because you're so amazed with this picture, and this is like, for me, I know for them too, but for me, it's like a dream come true. Just for being here tonight and premiere this film with you, thank you. Thank you. And, well, I do it for passion, because this is my passion. I love acting, and I enjoy doing this. I would love to do this for the rest of my life. And I don't live in a caserio. I've never lived there, but having the opportunity to like live there for 2 months or 3 months filming the movie, it was, wow, a terrific experience, and such a great opportunity to meet, to learn about their culture, their language, their conduct. It was amazing, and I feel like part of them. I feel like I left a part of me over there, filming those like 3 months, and I'm just like super proud of this project and super proud of the transformation process. But because this is what it's all about, transforming lives, and we love what we do, and this is such a great experience. Thank you.
So I'm gonna talk. Okay.
Hi. I live in the Caserio. And when I was a child, a friend spoke with me at, it's like an open house in the group, in the Caserio, and I say, okay, I go, yes. And gracias a Dios por ese yes que dije en ese cuando tenía 8 años. Y ha sido una experiencia increíble para mí seguir enfocada en lo que es el arte. Cuando comencé a los 8 años yo no qué era teatro y qué es eso, no sabía. Y fui poco a poco descubriéndolo, ya como a los 12 años dije entonces, esto a mí me gusta, I like this, I want to be an actress. Y comencé entonces a estudiar en la escuela en the Old San Juan, en el Viejo San Juan, y luego estudié en la Universidad de Puerto Rico, estudio drama, relaciones públicas y publicidad, y ha sido para mí increíble, yo como mujer de Caserío, dándole como un ejemplo a todos los demás de que sí se puede, de que yo soñaba con esto, para mí esto solamente era un dream, solamente yo iba al cine y decía, oh my God, si algún día yo estuviera ahí, y lo estoy, y soy de Caserío, aún vivo en el Caserío, y realmente quiero ser un ejemplo para todas las mujeres que piensan que no se puede, y sí se puede, hay una esperanza ahí muy grande.
Ahora, pues yo de pequeño siempre tuve 2 ejemplos a seguir. No tenía, mami y papi estaban en las drogas y todo eso. Tenía 2 ejemplos que eran mis 2 hermanos. Tenía un hermano que canalizó sus energías a través de, igual que papi, en el punto, la droga, la calle, las motoras, los caballos. Me gustan los caballos y las motoras. Pero tenía otro hermano que le dio, que estaba bien enfocado en la escuela, era como medio estofón. Y entonces, de repente abrió un grupo de teatro. Se apuntó en una escuela de teatro. Mi país siempre decía que eso era para gays. Ya con el tiempo ha demostrado que eso no es para nada cierto. ¿Sabes? Somos todos unos hombres. Pues la cosa es que me inspiré más con mi hermano aquí, Antonio. Me inspiró lo que estaba haciendo, me hizo darme cuenta que son las cosas importantes en la vida, desde algo tan básico como ir al grupito que él abrió y estar allí y compartir con ellos. Y eso definitivamente y literalmente cambió mi vida, porque si no hubiese sido por eso, muy probablemente hubiese terminado como los ejemplos de mi hermano o de papi. Los dos han estado presos, mi país está preso todavía. Mi hermano recién acaba de cumplir una sentencia en una cárcel federal. No supo canalizar su energía y sus emociones. Y yo, gracias a mi hermano mayor, he podido canalizarlas correctamente. Y gracias a Dios y a él, aquí estoy ante ustedes dándole un testimonio y porque el teatro inspira mi vida y es, de hecho, mi vida.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I need to. Well, basically, first of all, as Jody said, we need, and one of the most important things is to have a distribution of the film here in the States, so we could start presenting the movie in different theaters, not only movie theaters, but also theaters as in different colleges and universities. So that would be the first part of the process. The other thing, it's basically try to develop alliances with different community groups and government, such as HUD in Puerto Rico. We work with them, as also the Department of Public Housing here in New York City. So we could start presenting the film or the play and bring the cast so they could share and have this type of Q&As with the people and reached out more persons. So basically that would be the way to help us. And in Puerto Rico, one of the things that we have done is that we have an alliance with GFR Media, is the main media company in Puerto Rico, media group in Puerto Rico, and basically they are one of the executive producers of the film. And Javier, talk, so I...
Well, what we need is support, keep telling the story to the people, help us to keep helping these guys. In Puerto Rico, when we decided to get into this project, was when we met Antonio and his history. And I'm excited. Now you're being witnesses about the magic of this project, and I'm really sure that I know that once you know those guys very well, you will find the way to help us to distribute this project in the United States.
Can I add to that, what do they need? Because they're being very nice about it, and very, very, very nice about it. What my idea is, and I want to share this with you, is I see a direct correlation between what Antonio and his cast is doing in Puerto Rico as a way to help us with our situation in New York City. And I think it's very, very clear that we have amazing supporters in this room from the federal government and local and state government that could help us put our money where our mouth is, because in my introduction I had said that if we are able to fund projects like this, we won't be looking at our black and brown men being incarcerated at the rates that they are. And so my call to you is to join us in finding federal funds and state and local funds and grants and money that can employ residents of public housing to develop their talent that they might not otherwise know, so that we can help prevent and reduce and eradicate violence in our communities. And we can do that as academic institutions. We have scholars and we have leaders from institutions here, and we have the gracious support of 2 presidents, including, and in addition to John Jay's president, the president of Hostos and Lehman College have been absolutely amazing in their support for this type of program. So we can cross over from Puerto Rico. We have a very transient population here of Latinos that include not only Puerto Ricans, but every immigrant group, including a large number of Dominicans that reside in Puerto Rico right now. And I know we have a lot of Dominican brothers and sisters in here. Doña Mella is Dominican, right? So the film represents everybody that lives in our island, and it's our island collectively as immigrants. So if you can, and I'm asking you, please contact us and let's talk about what that really means and what HUD and Vivienda Pública have donated in terms of millions of dollars to make this a reality. We can do that here, and we can help save our youth as well.
Hola, yo lo voy a hacer en español porque, ¿quién sabe? Me llamo Rosibel Ventura, soy una estudiante aquí en John Jay, soy dominicana. Es decir, que ver todo eso me hace acordar a mí de mi país y cómo es porque no hay gran diferencia. Mi pregunta es para cada uno de ustedes, ¿cómo este proyecto, enseñar esto a los adolescentes, le ha cambiado la vida a ustedes personalmente? ¿Cómo le ha hecho ver la vida de otra manera?
She's one of my students, by the way. That's a social movement.
Well, well, by participating in this project, you feel like, not that I haven't like purpose before, but now you really find like, well, if this is my purpose in life to give it like a positive message to the people, why not? Let's go for it. So that's what I think.
Yo al principio dije que entré al teatro a los 8 años y que estuve como que seguía ahí hasta ahora. Y yo siempre que el ser humano llega un momento como que duda y como que a veces piensa, ¿estoy haciendo lo correcto? ¿Que estoy en el camino correcto? ¿Esto es realmente lo que yo quiero hacer? Y sí me pasaron muchas veces esas dudas en mi cabeza y más en esto del teatro, que es bien difícil. Pero cada vez que se hace la obra de teatro, es como que una inyección de energía para mí, porque tú sientes el feedback del público. Los adolescentes gritan, ellos se paran, ellos lloran, ellos nos aplauden, ellos nos tiran fotos, ellos se vuelven locos, y ese feedback de ellos es lo que hace que yo diga, wow, yo estoy en el camino correcto. Y realmente ha transformado mi vida y me encanta transformar la vida de los demás y eso me hace sentir mejor ser humano.
Pues antes yo padecía de baja autoestima y tenía muchas cosas negativas, no creía en mí mismo, ni me veía feo y todo.
¿Cómo puede?
No, pero eso tiene un punto. Después de pasar por este proceso de Por Amor en el Caserío y ver cómo se convierte en la mentalidad de las personas, este proceso me ha transformado, ay la chica, me ha transformado a mí esa autoestima. Yo me siento ahora mismo una persona seguro de mí mismo y no me importa, ya que el mensaje que estamos llevando es que crees en ti mismo, dale para adelante, tú puedes. Pero antes de nosotros llevar ese mensaje, créeme que nos hemos creído nosotros mismos primero. Estamos bien convencidos de que todo se puede, de que somos bellos, de que todo lo positivo, ¿no? Una mentalidad financiera, no voy a ser pobre más nada, y así, para adelante y para adelante.
My name is Galen. I'm from Brooklyn. How did you guys cast the characters?
Well, I'm Antonio, I'm from Llorens. This all started as a theater play. So they were like 11 years old when they started in the theater group. Anushka was 8. Xavier was like 8 or 9. They had to earn these characters through discipline, through good grades, staying in school, keeping good grades. I would have conversations with their parents and we would make deals. And I would tell the kids, if your mom gives me one complaint, you're gonna lose the part. Or, there were different ways to discipline them. So throughout almost over 6 years, when we decided that we wanted to do the film, at the moment that we started, that we were ready to start with the film, whoever who was ever in their characters at that moment, well, they just stayed with the characters. You know what I'm saying? So they just had to go along all the way and just stay focused, stay good, do things right until the filming process arrived, and that's how that's how they ended up in their roles.
Now we were out.
Thanks for your question.
Buenas, mi nombre es Wilber Trivino. Primero los quiero felicitar en español, pero les voy a preguntar las preguntas en inglés. My first question is, I grew up in a tough neighborhood as well. Not as tough as Puerto Rico's project housing, but I can only imagine some resistance to this kind of project, and especially it being so innovative. So my question to you is, if anyone has any perspective on this, what is the perception of the gangsters in these project housings and caserios before and after your movement took place? That's my first question. And my second question is, what was your biggest challenge, either from the producer's point of view, actor's point of view, and the director's point of view, in bringing this play, before even the film, but this play into movement?
Well, in terms of the hustlers, the people in the puntos de drogas, believe it or not, even though they knew that they were always my competition, because, we were losing all our young males. They were it was either to the hot spots or to the basketball team, and I had very few guys. Because of what Xavier said, there's an stigma that who's ever in theater arts are either girls or gay boys. So that was another thing that we had to fight with. But back to answer your question, these people from the hotspots, they were our number one supporters. They actually felt that what I was doing was necessary. They were very grateful. Why? Because like in the film, Mongol has a little brother in the film, Reggie. Mongol, even though Mongol was doing his bad things, he wanted Reggie to stay on good things. So while they were dealing in the streets, in the corners with their drugs and their violence, I had their little brothers, I had their sons, and they didn't want their kids to go through what they were going through. So, and I would announce it publicly every time I had the opportunity to be on stage and make like convocatorias to ask people to join our theater group. I would publicly say, you don't want to be in those corners. You want to be with me. Do you want to end up, in jail or dead? Or I was very open with it, and they were very supportive. They even wanted to fund my theater group, but that's something that was never negotiable. So, I was a thanks, but no thanks. Just keep making your money over there. We don't want to use your dirty, easy money. So that's how I got the line from the play. So did I answer your question? Yeah, they're happy with this. They feel proud of it. Okay? ¿Y alguno quiere?
On the production side of it, basically what we did is that we recruit people from the community to work in the production as part of the crew. So we develop employees, new employment for the residents, and basically we tell every and each one of the leaders or the supervisors in the industry, in the filming industry, that they will have to work with somebody that doesn't know anything about filming, but that they do want to work, and that they have to teach them on how to do everything. So it wasn't a challenge only for the production, but also for the crew, for the director of the film, for the photographer, for every and each one of the supervisors. But basically, we recruit the people from the community, and that helped us that they didn't only feel part of it as, okay, this is from Llorens, and no, they're really part of the project. So basically everybody was like looking up to and looking forward on starting the filming and working with the film. So it has been a great experience for the community. And today, as Professor Rohr tell in the beginning and said in the beginning, since January, right, Antonio? The piece in Llorens Torres is since January of 2013. It's in a agreement, a peace agreement among all the groups, and only we have had one incident, and it was not related to the community. Basically, it happened there, but it wasn't with any of the persons in the community. And another thing that started happening is that other public housing, other caserios start calling our office and saying, hey, we want us to do, and we want you to come here, and we want to do a film, and we want to do, and they thought it was really easy. So they start calling to our office because they want to do the same thing. And basically, that's what we are doing right now, and that's why we are in alliance with Departamento, the Housing Department in Puerto Rico, and we are visiting different public housing projects, sharing the play, presenting. Now we're going to start presenting the movie, so that's why we know that we could do the same thing here and in other states.
Okay, Jody says that we have 5 more minutes. So.
Yeah.
3 more minutes.
3 more
So I'm going to ask this because I don't want anybody to be not able to ask a question. If everybody could ask their question very quickly, and then we could try to answer it in 3 minutes because we have to vacate the theater.
All right, so my name is Andres, and I study at John Jay as well. And I want to know if people who have done bad things, and they say that they won't do it again. Like for me, my father was one of Escobar's lieutenants. So I was thinking, he said he never thought of doing bad things again, but I was wondering if the delinquent's mind still has some kind of badness in their hearts.
And could you ask your question also?
It ain't that deep. That was a deep question. Primero que nada, los quiero felicitar. Una película super bella. My name is Flaco Navaja. I'm an actor and a singer, and I was born in the projects in the South Bronx. So this is very inspiring. My question was more about you talked about el apoyo que te dieron los muchachos de los puntos. I'm more curious about, I read in one of the articles that the management from the Caserio started painting 6 days after you started filming. So my question is more like, did you meet a lot of resistance from people that you weren't expecting to meet resistance from? Meaning like the management of the Caserio, or people in positions of power in the government of Puerto Rico that may not have felt the same way as what you were intending to do with your film, or whether or not they got what you were trying to say, or in their mind, was it just another hood movie about drugs and shooting?
Okay, so here I go. The young man,
Andres.
you, right? Andres. Andres, thanks for your question. I always had the same doubt because my father, like I mentioned, he used to sell drugs. My mother was a victim of domestic violence. My dad was also very abusive to us. And I always thought, is there any good in that heart? But you know what? I have to say there is good. I don't think nobody's bad. There's circumstances that make you do foolish and stupid things. Some people are more ignorant than others. Unfortunately, I think that those ignorant people, more than ignorant, I would call them weak. Weak because they can't face life, and they can't face, life as it is. So, por lo tanto, those consequences make them do bad things. I'm sure that everybody deserves a second opportunity, even though I haven't said anything positive about my dad since I've been up here. But I haven't said that he's a monster, you know? He is not an evil person. My dad just keeps falling over and over and over again. Unfortunately, my mom died. I don't want my dad to die without seeing him changed. And I know there is some good in there because the letters he writes to us from prison, he always wants to change. I mean, really, there is absolutely nobody that has in their mind, I want to be bad, I enjoy being bad, I like to be bad, and when I get out of jail, I'm going to be worse. No, that only happens in soap operas and novelas where the bad one is the bad, bad, bad. But you know, in a way, this has a lot to do with that. That's why I believe in second opportunities and just helping people, you know. All of you that are here, I assume that you're all strong people and you want to do good and you're focused. Maybe the people that are not here, you know, maybe we know of a lot of people that could be here sitting with you right now, and they're not. They probably prefer to just stay in their corner. Call it depression, call it whatever you want to call it. I think that if we really focus on helping these people and just, I don't know, there has to be a way, you know. I wish I had the answers for that. And I don't, but what I do know is that there is no evil, 100% evil in nobody's heart. You know, we are people of God, and sorry to bring this topic, religion here, pero, so I hope, yeah, más o menos, good, okay. Of course, my dad created me with love, right? Papo Navaja. Flaco Navaja. I like your name, I like your flow. The answer would be yes, there was resistance. There's a lot of people that always thought that I was just playing a game. You know, all these poor black kids from the Caserio, now they think they're movie stars. I had a lot of that, but I also had a lot of support. And like the song from the movie says, son pocos malos, son malos buenos. I also had a lot of people that actually believed in me. And I take advantage of this to answer this, to recognize Mr. Polo Avilés. He's the president of Cine Co-op, and he is the first producer who actually believed in my project and gave me the opportunity to fulfill my dream. Polo, can you please stand up? Also, it's funny because when we were in Puerto Rico, the person that directed public housing administration, he was also very supportive, and he was from the government, and it was even strange to us that an official government agent, you know, an administrator, was actually interested in helping us. He even approved a couple of $1,000s to fix our theater. So that was the first time ever I felt that the government was actually believing in my work. And then this administrator moved to New York City, and now he's, I don't know, he's some high position in NYCHA, I don't really know the term. And he's here, Carlos Lavoy. So, yes and no. There's always people that judge you, that think that what you're doing is just fooling around, but there's many other good people with good hearts. Thank you.